A lot of people ask, how do I understand my MRI report? I get my MRI report and how do I interpret it? Well, an MRI report is going to have some basic information like your name, the name of the facility, the address of the facility. It's going to also have the report date and the exam date, as well as your date of birth. And then down at the bottom, it'll have the impression. Now, the impression is like the diagnosis or the medical findings from that MRI. This is an MRI of the lumbar spine, which is the lower back. And this one has as the impression a disc herniation. Now, a disc herniation just basically means that the disc, which looks something like this, right? It's a circle. The disc has been herniated or there's a protrusion. Now, these discs in your spine, they have liquid or jelly inside. And because of let's say a trauma, like a car accident, that liquid or jelly could then break through all of the walls in the disc and start leaking outside the disc. And you could see that happening right here, where the L4, L5 disc is leaking, and it's leaking into and then touching some of the nerve roots behind it. And this is an example of a herniation right here, where you could see that it's bulging out and then it's leaking out. And looking at it on another spine model, you could see it looks something like this, where these are the nerve roots behind the spine, and then the red part is the herniation right here, where it leaks outside the disc and touches the nerve root. So then this particular MRI report also mentions that this disc herniation impresses on the thecal sac. And you can see here, this is the thecal sac where the spinal nerves are within the thecal sac. So that herniation leaking outside of the disc, the nucleus or the jelly inside the disc, breaking out and leaking and now touching all those spinal nerves in the thecal sac, that's going to cause a lot of pain. And especially here, because it also compresses on the nerve root. And you can see the nerve root right there. So then this MRI report also mentions that this disc herniation extends peripherally into the foramen. And the foramen looks something like this. The foramen are these holes that you see here, these holes behind the vertebrae. And I believe you could see it as well on the model. So basically, you have these holes, probably better visualized on this with the arrows pointing to these holes. And the issue with that is that if the herniation starts leaking into those holes, you have these nerve roots that you see here in those holes as well. And so that herniation is going to be touching those nerve roots, causing pain. So that's what they mean by foramen. And another visualization of the herniated disc can be seen here, where you see the purple part, and that's the wall of the disc, and the blue part is the nucleus or the jelly inside. And as it leaks out, it starts touching the nerve roots, and you see a close-up here. So that's basically how to interpret an MRI of the lumbar spine that shows a herniated disc. I hope this has been helpful. Feel free to comment below to let us know if you have any questions, and we'd be happy to answer any questions. Okay, have a great day, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Bye-bye.